Staff members and colleagues, I'm John Clymer, Executive Director of the National Forum for Heart Disease and Stroke Prevention. Welcome to the Move with the Mayor Spring Challenge Kickoff. Before we get into the Spring Challenge, I want to thank Dr. Priscilla Presley-Cantrell and the CDC Division of Heart Disease and Stroke Prevention for the funding that makes this initiative possible. Additionally, thanks to CDC and the National Association of County and City Health Officials, or NACCHO, for their involvement in Move with the Mayor. This winter, the National Forum has organized meetings with CDC, NACCHO, and a few mayors to explore alignment of city and CDC priorities and help enhance linkages. CDC leadership is strongly committed to improving health in communities and eager to learn about mayors' goals and strategies to advance community health. Through Move with the Mayor, mayors are part of a national movement, and you're helping your communities be healthier, stronger, and more resilient. It's been exciting to me to review the Step It Up roadmap submitted by many of you. We've used your input to inventory the evidence-based programs, policies, and infrastructure changes that you are implementing in your communities. On average, cities that submitted roadmaps are carrying out 5 such approaches that are proven to improve health and health equity. By leading by example with everyday physical activity and strengthening policies and programs that support active transportation, you are using evidence-based approaches to improve health for residents in your communities. You're moving the needle on heart health, obesity, diabetes, mental health, and individual and community resilience. Now, a quick preview of our agenda for this convening. We're going to hear from Mayor Keith Ogle of Frankfort, Illinois, and Mayor Karen Alexander of Salisbury, North Carolina. Both of them were first-time participants in Move with the Mayor this past fall and went all in to use the initiative for their community's benefit. We'll also hear from Caitlin Graff from CDC about resources from Active People Healthy Nation to support cities, and we'll have time for some Q&A. But right now, I want to turn the microphone over to the National Forum's Director of Programs, Jen Childress.
Thank you. Now we're going to go into the why. What are some of the benefits of physical activity? The great news is that the payoff starts immediately with better sleep, lower levels of stress and anxiety, and lower blood pressure. Thinking more long-term, there are benefits that include lower levels of risk factors for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancers. Being physically active also helps maintain a healthy body weight, improve bone strength, as well as improve balance and coordination. The physical activity guidelines recommend that we get 150 minutes of physical activity a week at a moderate level, meaning like a brisk walk. But that equates to about 30 minutes, 5 days a week of physical activity. A new study recently found that being physically active for just 11 minutes a day for walking reduces cardiovascular and cancer risk factors by 23%. So that's great news, making physical activity benefits more tangible and showing that small bursts of physical activity are beneficial. As mayors, you're leading by example and showing that someone as busy as a mayor can fit physical activity into their busy schedules. If everyone walked just 11 minutes a day, 1 in 10 early deaths could be avoided. So something is better than nothing. And by participating in the Move with the Mayor initiative, you are literally and figuratively leading the movement. The next couple of slides we're going to go over, just wanted to do a shout out to the 37 cities that held events during the Fall Activity Challenge this past year, and taking a look as well to the 22 cities that completed a roadmap as well as hosted an event. Congratulations to you all, and we look forward to helping you and providing additional technical assistance around the roadmap recommendations that were provided at the end of December. So far, 38 cities have committed to the Spring 2023 Physical Activity Challenge, and the number is growing by the day. We look forward to this exciting challenge ahead. So what is the Physical Activity Challenge? It's held between April 15th and May 31st, and we're asking participating cities to host at least one physical activity event. This is a friendly competition, and we encourage you to post your events online using the hashtag #MoveWithTheMayor so that we can amplify your efforts. We also want to encourage cities to strengthen your partnerships, to link up with activities that community partners such as businesses, your parks and rec, or local health departments are hosting, or invite them to events that you would like to host. We'll be providing you with resources and technical assistance that Jasmine will be going into in just a bit. And we'll be sending out regular email updates throughout the challenge period, which include features of activities that cities are hosting, as well as funding opportunities. So taking a look at what some cities have done in this past challenge, we just wanted to share this as examples. And these are social media posts that we amplify, and we look forward to sharing yours during this coming spring challenge, whether it's kickball, walking around a track, having a 5K, and posting messages about the importance of heart health and benefits of physical activity, roller boogieing, dancing, playing kickball, you name it, the sky is the limit in terms of activities that you can host. So find what you love to do, share it, and we look forward to seeing all the fun that you and your community members are having. Next up, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Michelle Snyder.
Joining us today is Frankfort, Illinois Mayor Keith Ogle. And as a first-time participant in Move with the Mayor, we're going to be discussing the types of activities that Frankfort hosted over 26. Tell us about the broad array of events that Frankfort held for the Fall Challenge.
Well, we reached out to our various partners here, and they came back with some really interesting ideas. We had a pack walk from one of the local dog trainers, and we had, I think, about 20 dogs with their owners, and they also had an agility course afterwards. This was great fun. We had a CrossFit group. We reached out to some of the schools, and they invited me to participate in their gym classes, second grade gym class. The one that was probably the most challenging was we got to the 8th graders, and their PE instructor and they sort of challenged us. They did this cone flip, one of the construction cones. So they'd pick an exercise on there, 10 push-ups, 10 burpees, whatever it was. And if they stuck the cone, if it landed upright, then the PE teacher and I had to do the 10 push-ups. And so they were very competitive. They had a great time. It pushed all of us a bit. There were some exercises I didn't even know that existed. I'd never heard of them before. But again, it was great fun. We had a group of stroller moms that I joined, and that was actually a really good workout as well. Cardio drumming. There were a lot of very fun things that people did, and we were trying to reach out and encourage people to find things that would introduce someone to a healthier lifestyle, to get active. And those partnerships were so important. It's so important that you do reach out into your community because you'll find that they want to participate.
Mayor Ogle, you really incorporated everyday physical activity into some of the events that you hosted. Can you tell us about a few of those events and highlight how physical activity on an everyday level was incorporated?
You know, some of the events that we're doing were just very simple, just going out for a walk. A 10-minute walk is great for your health. It's a good place to start. And certainly it helps. You can invite a friend out with you and then go for a short walk. Walking your dog, the canine, the pack walk was great, but you know, you can walk your own pet. My wife and I, our dog Max, he loves to go for a walk anytime. He's up for that all the time, and it's great for us. A lot of these things, shopping, doing gardening, those are all activities that you move. You're moving. You're creating some sort of movement, which that's really what we're looking to do. You don't have to be a competitive triathlete or run a marathon. You can get out and just walk. I mean, you may find that those are things that you lead to at some point, but it doesn't have to be.
Tell us about the impact this first challenge has had on the community.
Well, I think that we've raised the awareness. We have a beautiful bike path that goes through the center of our town. And that's part of our goal, is to encourage connection of community, as well as, I'm concerned about our community's health long term. All of us are getting older. We're trying to model behavior, especially, you start with the young students, as a second grade gym class, doing sit-ups and on the floor with them and doing exercises, and they had a blast, and so did I. But you want to model that type of behavior, and you can lead by example here in your community. So if we can have a healthier lifestyle and encourage these sort of things, I think it benefits everyone. And certainly as you age, you want to make sure that you're able to move and stay healthy, and that you don't have these restrictions, or stroke, heart attack, these debilitating things. We start early, and let's prevent those, and we'll do the best that we can.
What were the challenges you faced or the lessons learned as a first-time participant?
I would say one is that people are shy about their health, their fitness, their condition. And so you really need to invite them, and you need to make this comfortable for them. Some of the events that we had were public. We had a circuit training group that brought out all this equipment right in the public square, and people were invited to come out and take the class for free. And I think people were shy about exercising in public. And so we've had to modify some things, and we will. We've taken some things indoors. Again, you want to be able to meet people where they're at and find something that they can then incorporate into their lifestyle, not just a one-off. And some of the folks have done really well that came out and they're like, I never thought I would like this. So they had a chance to try this particular exercise or this activity. They're like, I really like this. So we're very pleased with the results, and our partners have been very pleased as well.
Our team just absolutely loves what Frankfort is doing. It is so fun. Every time we see you host an event, we're telling each other about it and just talking about how much of a leader you're being in this initiative. And
well, thank you, Michelle. I hope that more of the mayors pick up on this.
Mayor Ogle, tell us about the events you have planned for the Spring Challenge.
Okay. We're still in the process of planning them, but one of them we're going to do pickleball. There was another one that was suggested about kayaking. We have a little pond, and so we're opening these ideas. And again, we're very much reaching out to our partners to go, how would you like to participate in this? What are your ideas that you're bringing to this? And then a lot of times they'll go, well, do you think the mayor would be open to doing this? They'll ask Sue, and I said, yeah, I'm game. Let's do this.
What are your goals for the Spring Challenge?
Okay. Well, my goal overall had always been to meet people where they're at. We had one reporter that did an article on us, and they made it as though this was very competitive. I mean, we were competing to do this, and that was never really my goal. I think that's good for some people, but I want to make sure we meet you where you're at. If you get winded by walking just a short way down the block, well, we'll start. I'll walk with you during that, and we'll get you connected to somebody so that you can stay healthier. We did a TheraBand session with one of the assisted living facilities that was nearby. So I had a 95-year-old woman on one side of mine and a one who had just turned 100, and we were doing TheraBand exercises together. These are all great things. So my goal is to continue to get our community here in Frankfort connected into healthier lifestyle and movement, and also to be an example for other ones. One of our neighboring mayors, a good friend of mine, will be joining the Spring Challenge. And I think there'll be a little bit of competition there too, but we want to make sure that we're doing things that are good for our communities. And I think improving your health, you can't beat that. If you don't have your health, you don't have much.
Thank you, Michelle and Mayor Ogle, and welcome Mayor Alexander of Salisbury, North Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us today. Could you please describe your Move with the Mayor activities last fall and how they were received by the community?
We did a event where we invited one of our groups that get together and dance together, and they're called the Queens and King because there's only one guy in the group. They're all over 55, and they've been around in our community for quite some time. And I thought that with their energy and enthusiasm and the fact that they already knew the dance moves, that if we posted in our new park, the Bell Tower Green Park, that it would be a great event for the community. So of course we invited everyone of every age to come. And it was so interesting because we had people there who had been a part of this group, could no longer physically be up, on the stage with the group, but they were in their chairs and they were doing their exercises and kicking their legs. And it really inspired me to think about a chair exercise event for the next time we're doing it, to be inclusive of people with disabilities.
I absolutely love that idea. As a first-time Move with the Mayor participant, what resources were most helpful to you and to the city of Salisbury?
Well, we loved having all of the technical assistance from your group. Keisha has spoken so highly of all the process, the way that you all took anything that we did raw and made it into something really highly professional that did not require our team. So that made sort of us in our current workload, it really worked, and we could take this on as a project.
Excellent. So you felt like having the National Forum support made it a lighter lift. You felt like being able to have that resource available made it possible for you to host these events and make it feasible.
Yes, I think so. Because we're a smaller city and we have limited staff, any help that we can have through an organization such as yours really benefits both our staff and me, as well as all of our citizens, because they have opportunities for an event that maybe they would not have had otherwise.
Okay, great. What would you like other mayors to know about how these events impact the community? What kind of feedback did you get?
Well, we had great feedback. I posted it on my mayor's page, and I had tons of likes and great comments about how important it is for all of our citizens' health to be active and to find fun ways to get active, so that you're not just thinking about it as drudgery, but hey, you can go out, you can be together as a community, enjoy each other's company, and at the same time get great exercise. And in our case, it brought different community demographics together. I mean, it was so diverse in terms of both race and age and everything. So we were very excited about it.
Okay, Mayor Alexander, so we're so interested to learn more about the chair exercises that you have coming up, that program that you're developing for your next event. Could you tell me a little bit more about how you decided on that particular activity, why it's important to you, and kind of the structure of moving forward?
Okay, so we started a DEI program for our city. And part of that is to be inclusive in every way. And one of those ways was to be inclusive in exercise options that we provide for our community. And a lot of us do walking around tracks, or we might do aerobic type of exercises, bicycling, walking our dogs. But there are those citizens who, either because of age-related issues or disabilities, that they have to be in a chair, or they cannot be in a standing position and do exercises. And yet they value exercise, they value the social aspect of it, the being outside, which we're going to do this one again outside. So I think that my thought was that this would be an opportunity to demonstrate our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion in so many ways.
Absolutely. And, you kind of touched on the long-term effects and being able to use this moving forward. Had you guys considered having some kind of handout for some of the exercises so that if they wanted to continue trying some of them at home in the evenings, that might be something worth considering?
I let my very creative staff in all facets to really come up with exactly how they're going to do it. But I love the idea, and I'm sure that they will do something like that because we have a great communications team. You've met Keisha, and she works with the people that are actually going to do the event. So I think that that would be an awesome idea to have that. And we could do it online so that people could access it from their smartphones.
Excellent. Well, Mayor, we really appreciate you taking the time to share your insights today. And thank you so much for all of your efforts and promoting physical activity in your community.
Well, thank you for all of the support that your organization has given. And we see it on the Facebook and Twitter. I see some of my other mayor colleagues in other cities. So that's kind of thrilling that this is happening across our country.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Mayor Alexander, and sharing your insights. And now we'll welcome Caitlin from Active People Healthy Nation.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Graff, and I'm a health scientist in the Physical Activity and Health Branch at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Today, I'm going to be sharing some information and resources about physical activity, which you can use to help your community become more activity friendly and can enhance your work with Move with the Mayor. As you all are likely well aware, physical activity is one of the best things that people can do for their health. We also know that creating activity-friendly communities have a number of co-benefits, including enhancing local economies and improving traffic safety. Recognizing the benefits of physical activity and the level of inactivity in this country, CDC created Active People Healthy Nation, which is a national movement to help 27 million Americans increase their level of physical activity by 2027. The core of Active People Healthy Nation are these 7 strategies to increase physical activity, which all sit on a base of equitable and inclusive access. These strategies are all based on evidence from the Community Preventive Services Task Force, which is an independent group that analyzes the state of the science and offers recommendations on the evidence for different topics. The main strategy that we're currently focused on at CDC is the top one, community design for physical activity. So what is this strategy? Well, the strategy encourages communities to connect bike paths, sidewalks, and transit, or what we call activity-friendly routes, to places that people typically go to, like grocery stores, health clinics, parks, and schools. By working on creating these activity-friendly routes that go to these everyday destinations, we solve for a couple of issues that people typically have with being physically active, including not having enough time and not having places to be active. If you're able to walk or roll to the grocery store, you can get in some activity and complete an errand at the same time. We've recently released a webpage where you can learn more about increasing physical activity through community design. The Community Preventive Services Task Force also recently released a new recommendation, which combines park, trail, or greenway infrastructure improvements with one or more additional activities to increase physical activity and infrastructure use. Activities could include community engagement, public awareness, programming, and access enhancements. Parks are often one of the top destinations for physical activity, so equitable park access is crucial in communities. We worked with the National Recreation and Parks Association to develop the Active Parks Implementation Guide, which takes this new recommendation and provides resources and step-by-step guidance to help make the science actionable. If you filled out the roadmap, you may already be aware of our Active People, Healthy Nation proclamation. One of our Active People, Healthy Nation goals for 2023 is to increase the number of proclamations. Elected or appointed officials can download, adapt, and adopt a proclamation for their jurisdiction. It's an easy way to show support for creating activity-friendly communities. This slide shows the cities, counties, and states that have already passed a proclamation so far, which includes some people who participate in Move with the Mayor. So thank you so much to all of you who have already passed one. We currently have 3 funding opportunities open out of the Division for Nutrition, Physical Activity, and Obesity to improve nutrition, increase physical activity through community design, and help people maintain a healthy weight. The first is the High Obesity Program, which will help land-grant universities increase access to healthier foods and safe and accessible places for physical activity in places where the adult obesity rate is over 40%. Applications for this one are due by March 21st. Next, the State Physical Activity and Nutrition Program will support statewide investments to improve nutrition and support safe and accessible physical activity. Applications are due by March 28th. And lastly, the racial and ethnic approaches to community health will help communities improve health, prevent chronic diseases, and reduce health disparities among racial or ethnic populations that have the highest burden or risk of chronic disease. Applications are due by April 11th. Funding for each is for a 5-year period, so please take a look at the website for more information. And to stay in the loop about Active People, Healthy Nation, you can sign up for our monthly newsletter using the QR code or by going to the Getting Started page. We're actually planning on featuring the work from Akron, Ohio as part of the Move with the Mayor program in the March edition. So please sign up and help us celebrate the work from Akron. And here is my contact information if you have any questions. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Caitlin. Hi, I'm Jasmine, and I will go over our resources. The Move with the Mayor initiative is designed to meet you where you are at. Whether you're ready to launch or have strong programming already set up, if you're just getting started, your community engagement coordinator is here to help. Each city is assigned a Move with the Mayor community engagement coordinator to provide support and technical assistance, which we offer year-round. Next, let's go over our communications toolkit. Mental health, along with physical activity, eating a balanced diet, and reducing cardiovascular risk factors are important components of healthy living. And we have developed communication toolkits that feature sample social media posts and graphics that you can easily use and adapt. Additionally, we have a press release template and sample proclamations that you can use to amplify your commitment to your community's health. For spring, we have a simple physical activity tracker to use. It is available to download on the Move with the Mayor website. If you are a past participant and have used the Spark America Challenge, we want to advise you that it will only be held in fall 2023. If you have a Spark America or People One account, you can still track physical activity minutes using the app, but it will not count towards your city's overall minutes until the fitness challenge in fall. As mentioned on the other slide, we have a downloadable physical activity tracker to use instead. One of the tools provided by Move with the Mayor are case studies that share lessons learned and effective strategies implemented by participating cities. In addition to the case studies I mentioned, featuring cities and partnerships, we also spotlighted cities for their efforts on everyday physical activity and health equity. Check them out. We are currently working on new case studies that will be released later this year, including Athens, Tennessee, Glendale Heights, Illinois, Frankfort, Illinois, Carson City, Nevada, West Sacramento, California, San Jacinto, California, and Greenville, South Carolina. Thanks so much. Up next is John Clymer.
We now have 13 minutes for questions and discussions. So happy to open the floor. Happy to hear from you. If you want to raise a hand, that's fine. Or and it'll help if you turn on your camera, your video. If you prefer to put it in the chat, that's fine as well. We'll try to catch as many of the questions as we can. First, I see Mayor Tito Brown in the group here. And Mayor Brown, if you're at your computer right now, if you can turn on your video, that'll let me know you're there. I'm going to put you on the spot. Hey, there we go. Hi, Your Honor.
I'm not. How you doing? I'm not at my desk. I'm actually walking.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm putting Mayor Brown on the spot here is because he and I were at a meeting this past weekend with about 30 other mayors. Mayor Brown's part of the U.S. Conference of Mayors leadership group. And the mayors, to a person, I believe, are deeply committed to improving mental health in their communities. And one of the things that we talked about on the sidelines is how doing exactly what Mayor Brown is doing right at this moment, moving more, and especially if it's outside, is proven by the science to help reduce anxiety, stress, and depression. So while many of the solutions that the mayors talked about this past weekend for mental health are things that will require a lot of lead time, congressional action, other heavy lifts, Move It the Mayor is one thing that can be implemented right away. And it's low cost, light lift, and a way that you can have an immediate impact. So, Your Honor, I don't know if, I know you and I had a brief conversation, but I don't know if you want to add anything as you reflect on the discussions about improving and protecting mental health and how that ties into the Spring Challenge and what we're talking about today.
Well, thank you so much. Really, that's a big piece. I've found out, so this is my 6th year as mayor, and everything else was put in front except my me time or my exercise. And now I'm just really carving out and making it intentional to find me about an hour, hour and a half to focus on exercise 2 or 3 days a week. And it's working. I feel it. I like it. It just gives me a time to decompress and unplug. So this is what I'm encouraging my staff to start doing. And I'm going to start doing my citizens as well. So thank you for the opportunity to spotlight my sweaty face and my low oxygen breath. So, but we're working on it. That's what we want to get better.
I think we all appreciate your leading by example, Mayor Brown.
Yeah.
Mayor Lori Bagwell from Carson City, Nevada.
So I just wanted to share with everyone how difficult it has been with our weather. We have had more snow and rain in the last 3 months than we have ever had. And so just as a fun, unique idea, if anyone else is experiencing lovely weather that you can't do things outside, we're going to do Move with the Mayors, make a snowman challenge so that families can come out and make a snowman and try and lift that mental health that you're all talking about, because people are pretty stressed out that all their functions, you get through COVID, you couldn't do anything. Now all the functions are being canceled because of the weather. So we're going to have some fun and do a snowman challenge that the mayor will walk around and pick a family one, and they get to name their snowman and stuff like that. So I just thought if anybody else has any winter type, because I'm not sure we're going to get spring in Carson City, we will come up with a challenge, but I welcome any thoughts or ideas for things that We don't have a lot of space to do big indoor events, but we did do pickleball last month, and it was fantastic. Super fantastic. So if anybody's doing pickleball, I think it's a great idea for your community and people will really love it. So we did that as an indoor one, but I'm open to suggestions or ideas for things that you can do outdoors in bad weather.
Well, thank you, Mayor Bagwell. Thanks for sharing the building snowman idea or snow person. And I noticed that Mayor Norton in Minnesota was tuned right into that suggestion. And Mayor Norton, I actually was thinking of you as I was watching Mayor Brown walking during this session, and thinking of you with your badge that says I'm in a walking meeting. And I hope you won't mind that the National Forum is going to take your idea with the badge and run with it. We're going to provide badges to all mayors that say I'm in a walking meeting. So you can wear that and simultaneously let people know this may not be the best time to come up and talk to me. And it's another way for you to lead by example. So we'll be getting those made. Jasmine's already done the design. They look sharp. I'm excited that former Mayor Steve Benjamin, who many of you know, has just been appointed to the White House staff. He's going to take walking meetings as a practice into the White House with him. Yeah, so carrying Move with the Mayor forward into the White House. Any other questions at the moment? Let's see, I see one on chat. Mayor Norton, yoga. Do you want to expand on that?
We do outdoor and indoor yoga periodically in the downtown area, and try to catch people at the noon hour or right after work, and just have somebody lead yoga practices. We've used our civic center as well, and just invite people to come over and do yoga as a way to exercise in the very cold and deep snow.
Excellent. Thank you. Mayor Ogle, I have a question for you. You referred in the interview you did with Michelle to people being shy about exercising in public and needing to meet people where they are. How have you, with Move with the Mayor, how have you helped people overcome, or maybe a better way to put it is, how have you lowered that barrier?
Well, what we've tried to do is we offered a really broad range of events. And as the mayor from Carson City had pointed out, something like Make the Snowman with the Family, those are things that you could have that idea there, put it out on social media, just the night that you get the forecast, you can move very quickly into those things. I thought that's a great idea. We'll have to incorporate as well. But the rest of it is sometimes it's just, you put something out, hey, we're going to go for a walk. And you may have people that, they'll struggle with it, and you just pace it. But you also have to ask people to come out with me. I'll be there with you. I'll help you in this, whether walking or whatever. And, people need to be asked sometimes. You need to lead them, but also people just showing up. And I love the idea of the badge as well. We had a couple things that we did. I don't know if this will show with the little blur on the screen.
A little bit closer to the screen.
Yeah, I don't know if this will show. Yeah, we have
there
Move
you go.
Move with the Mayor bag. There's little ones that you could do there, and just a couple pieces that we, promoting the logo. People like to have those things, and also when you're walking on a trail, whatever, if you've got this little knapsack on, it promotes this. So again, people are shy to exercise. They're shy about maybe their level of fitness, sometimes poor fitness. And so you have to ask them and encourage them to come out. And sometimes you're going to have to basically hold their hand through the process, at least to get them going. And then they take off and they fly on their own. So we appreciate everything that, your staff has done and that the National Forum has done.
And vice versa, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Alexander, you were talking about making opportunities for exercise inclusive in Salisbury. Can you give us a couple of examples of how you've done that?
Well, in our first event that happened in the fall, we had a seniors group that actually are called the Queens and King because they are all women, except they have one gentleman that's part of their dance group. So we had them come to our downtown park and teach dancing to anyone who was there, line dancing and just fun activities. Even some of my council members participated that day, but also a school, an academy that is part of our city. All the children came. So when they heard them playing the fast music, they were just drawn to it. So they came down and weren't really part of the activity intentionally, but they wanted to know if they could join in. So they got in the group and they were dancing, and they must have been, second, third grade. So that became a really big inclusive part of our event. And then some of the ladies had basically aged out to actually stand and do the exercises. So they were, some of them in chairs, and they did kicking and arm at, like they were dancing. So that sort of sparked the idea that perhaps we could have an event that was basically around the idea of disability. So I have a staff member that has taught chair exercises in a local YMCA. And so she's going to do the program in the spring. So we're going to focus on that and have it outdoors because here the weather is nice during April and May. So we're very excited about that.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that, Mayor Alexander. I want to call attention, in case you haven't seen it yet, to Mayor Norton's comment in the chat about the balance classes, and knowing what a huge problem falls are for seniors. Those balance classes sound so valuable. That's a brilliant idea, Mayor.
It is. Great idea.
Right.
And honestly, I was so sore the next day. The seniors had no trouble. I was a mess the next day.
Well, mayors and colleagues, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your participation in the Move with the Mayor Spring Challenge coming up. Thank you for your leadership in your communities. We know, because you're implementing evidence-based programs and policies and services, we know that those are proven to move the needle in the direction of better health for everyone, and that in turn makes your community more resilient and strengthens the community. So we're really excited to be able to not only hear from you today, but to work with you and to support your work, helping you make your communities not only healthier, but stronger. So I want to thank all of my National Forum colleagues who interviewed you and presented today. I want to thank again Mayor Alexander and Mayor Ogle for allowing us to interview you and hear in depth a little bit more about your programs. And want to make sure everyone here knows that you can ask your community engagement coordinator or Jen Childress or me anytime you have an idea that you want to share, or a question that you need answered, or you have a resource that you need some help with. We're here to help you. So with that, good luck in the 2023 Move with the Mayor Spring Challenge. And I'm betting that every community will be a winner.